All right, welcome back to RPLGV, easy for anyone else to say, RPGLTV's RPG Gauntlet for the quest for good RNG. My name is Xytoriak. I'll be kicking off a Dragon Quest block of 24 hours of Dragon Quest. We got some great DQ games, we got some randomizers, we got a hard type ROM hack coming up later. We're gonna kick it off with the granddaddy of them all, Dragon Quest 1. This isn't the NES one that a lot of people might have played the randomizer or the original from the one that Nintendo Power gave to everybody. This is the Super Famicom release, and as you can see by the characters on the screen, it's in Japanese. But this is a much faster category than the NES, so it takes usually like about 5 hours or so if you're not using RNG manips. This one's going to take under 2. With JRTA timing. Timing starts at power on of the console. So without further ado, we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so we are going to create a new file. We're gonna name our hero Bopo. That is the quickest name to have 2 characters to get the stat growth we want, because that still is a thing. Your stat growth depends upon your name. You'll see pretty much, I mean, it's still the same game. It's still DQ1, Dragon Warrior 1. It just has the updated gold and experience. So it's a little bit faster. The dragon in the swamp cave is like a boss instead of just a random green dragon. I just grabbed an herb out of that pot. We put it on message speed 8 because I have a turbo controller, and the messages will come as fast as we can, turbo through them. We're gonna stop into Breckenary here. We're gonna buy a club. And we're not going to equip it because it's faster to do it in the equip screen than to listen to him say, you paid for it, you can use it. We're going to stop in here, look in this little dresser here. We're going to get a Chimera wing we're going to use later. And then we're going to go down to the item shop and buy some stuff. We're going to get 2 torches, we're going to get 2 herbs, and we're going to get a dragon scale. So there's herb 1. There's herb 2, torch 1, torch 2, and the dragon scale. Alright, now we're gonna walk out and we're just gonna basically go a little bit to the north and grind up to level 2. Okay. Our hero Bopo, we need 7 experience to get to level 2, and then we're going to head over towards the Myra area, or in English it's the coal area. So the name of this category instead of any percent is called Dragon Loops because there's 2 main categories for this game. This one is we take advantage of the Swamp Cave Dragon and we kill it 7 or 8 times to get a bunch of experience. There's another route that you can do where you can RNG manip using the Silver Harp to manipulate metal slimes to show up. And that one on average is faster, but it's a higher RNG swing. But this one's a little bit more, this one's like the main category that people like to race when there's an event or whatever. So like there was a big 8 or 9 person race at this at the end of DQRTA this year. And we've reached level 2. We are going to head over to the Myra area, and we're just going to keep grinding. We're going to get up to level 3. We just wanted to get up to level 2 before we started fighting a little bit nastier enemies like a ghost. So the Dragon Loops basically, we call it that because you basically just keep going to the swamp cave, kill the dragon, save the princess, death warp, rinse and repeat 7 times. Not to be confused with white ground loops, which is probably what we're going to see in Dragon Warrior 2 tomorrow morning. Dragon loop's good, white round loop's bad. Yeah, so this one's called Dragon Loops, Dragon Loops, and then the other one's called the Harp Hunting. So we're staying in a very specific, this first line of tiles of forest, because this is where like the zone 2 and zone 1, 2 enemies still are. We don't want to fight anything that's super strong like a scorpion or a Magidrake yet. Okay, so we hit level 3. So now we want to fight one of the stronger ones. What we're gonna do is we're gonna heal up quick. I have one more herb after this. And that's why we got 3 torches. We can't really hit them hard enough to be able to beat one. So I'm gonna go here. We have a Magidrake, so I'm gonna start chucking torches at them. Those do a little bit more damage than my swings are gonna do. Alright. That gave us a little bit of a boost. I'm going to use my last herb just to be safe here, because we need to make it into coal here. Alright. So, it was a waste of an herb, but it's okay. While we're here, we're going to grab the fairy flute, because this is our only time that we're going to step into this town. So we're grabbing the fairy flute here. And then in this little spa area, we can get some clothes here, and we're going to grab a strength seed. So this is something that wasn't in the original, like, NES version. There's stat seeds that can boost our stat growth. So we're going to take, there's quite a few of them that we're going to grab in this run. We're going to take advantage of the swamps. This is going to send us back to Tantagel. Rutatorm. We're going to save because we need to make sure we roll at least a 2 or a 3 on the strength seed. We got a 3, so we can just keep going. So now, King told us we have about 10 experience to go, so we're gonna walk over south of Garai or Garenham, and we're going to get that extra 10 experience on Zone 1 enemies, so that we can get to level 4 and learn the spell Gira or Hurt. Or Fireball, or if you're a new one, I think it's Sizz. So I mean, there's like a bunch of different spell names for it now. Nice, that was a nice Kaisha no Chigeki. So once we hit level 4, we're gonna learn the Gira spell, and that's gonna give us a huge boost in attack power. And then we can run down into those little mountains south of the bridge there, and we can fight a couple stronger enemies with the 4 MP that we have. Alright, we hit level 4. He's learned the spell Gira. Alright, that's not quite the enemies we like to see. Magicians are the worst ones we can get here. We would love to see, like, we'd really like to see a Scorpion or a Magidrake. We'll take a Magidrake. That just gives us a little bit of an XP and gold boost. We're still going to fight everything back on anything we run into on the way to Garai. And we're gonna set ourselves up for a bug manipulation, or it's not really a bug, but it's a manipulation. We're gonna fill up our inventory, and what that's gonna do is when we try to open up a chest, if we don't like what we see, we can put whatever's in the chest back. We're gonna open this treasure chest that's got a 1 in 16 chance to give us a death necklace. And if we see an herb, then we're just going to keep saying no, and we're just going to keep saying no until we get an herb. Or, so, death necklace. So we're filling up our inventory with torches. and then we're gonna max out on herbs. And we have just enough gold to pull this off. Another reason why we routed it this way. We're gonna basically use all of our MP to Giras for stronger enemies. I'm just gonna double check. Yep, and then I'm gonna equip those clothes just to get that extra 2 defense. So we're gonna go into the Rocky Mountain Cave, and so the first half of the cave we're gonna do it in the dark because, like I said, we can't light a torch because that's gonna take it out of our inventory. So we're gonna make all the way to the Death Necklace chest without lighting a torch. And then a little game that we can play in chat is guess how many times it's gonna take us to, should not have long. That's okay. Did the same thing the other day. How many times checking the chest do you think it's going to take us to get a Death Necklace when it's a 1 in 16 chance? Alright, hitting level 5 is fantastic. Using a lot of resources up front, but that could be okay. Okay, so we're entering the Rocky Mountain Cave, and we're gonna go around this entire first floor in the dark. Oh, I know where I am. Okay. So I'm gonna be using the bonking to know where I am. In my notes here, I've got a map of the cave layout. I know how to make my way through it. I just use the bonking to know when I've reached the end of that hallway. This is also laid out differently than the NES cave is laid out. This will be the last fight that we take unless we see like a ghost. We're at the south end of the cave now. Right, we are getting close to the end of this one. We're gonna fight a ghost. Okay. Last hallway here, and we'll be hitting to level 2. Rude. Alright, level 2. We go all the way to the south. Go past this hallway. Go up. First room here is going to be a gold chest. So we got the gold. Oh man. I did make it out in the hallway. We're okay, everything's fine. Here we go. So that was a herb. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There it is. Got it on 8, so we got it above average. I'm gonna drop a torch to do it, and then we can light a torch. funnily enough, in my PB of this run, I think my death necklace is like in the 80th try. It's really bad. So that's funny to always have like a time save here now, generally. We're gonna grab a few other things out of this cave. That was scary. We're gonna grab an iron shield that's right around the corner here. And then we have a MP nut and a strength seed to grab. That's right down at the bottom of this hallway. Gonna be close. Do not want to use that herb. Drop a torch. Get the MP nut. Use it. Grab this. Okay. Now we can death warp. We're gonna unequip all of our gear and try to fight a fight right away. There we go. Yep. All right. Once again, on that strength seed that we just picked up, we need a 2 or a 3. Since we got a 3 on the first one, it can be a 2 or a 3. Save, just in case it's a 1. It's a 3, cool. We're gonna re-equip all of our gear. Okay, now we're gonna head to the town of Rimmeldar. We are gonna buy our keys there, and then we're also gonna get a much stronger weapon. The reason we want to get that death necklace is we can sell that for 1,200 gold, and that mixed with the gold that we carried from the death warp, and we're gonna pick up like 100 gold in there too. We're gonna buy a steel sword, which is a much better weapon. Like, I forget how many weapons are actually in the game, but this is 2 weapons away from being the best weapon in the game, because there's the flame sword after it, and then Roto's sword that we'll get at the end of the game. So it's a really nice boost, and then we don't have to rely on Gira for damage. We can just use our MP for healing at that point. So we are approaching the swamp cave. Go through this cave to get to Rimmeldar. We're not going to fire up a torch. This is laid out exactly the same as the NES cave, so basically just keep going south. And then we're hoping that we hit level 6 along the way. There's level 6. Come out the other side. See what happens. I'm gonna use a heal spell. I still have 2 Giras and that's all I got. try to make it around the corner here into the grass. Okay. Just need to make it to the town there, but there's a lot of scary things here. But we made it. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we're gonna... Game kind of did this almost like a little Easter egg almost. But yeah, this is the first place that you can buy keys. It's the only place you can buy keys without already having keys. We're gonna grab some gold, grab another defense seed, use the defense seed, and we're gonna stock up on 6 keys. Alright. You can only carry 6 herbs or 6 keys at a time. And we're just gonna faster to just walk out and come back in. We're gonna grab, I think it's a life nut that's in this chest. Yep, no Chinokonomi. Yep, so we're gonna use that. Get 5 HP, max HP. Come up there. Excuse me. Beep beep. Thank you. We'll sell our death necklace. Get 1200 gold. Buy a steel sword. Don't equip it. And actually, I forgot. I can drop my club. Drop our clothes. We're gonna come up here. We're gonna buy a wing of wyvern, a chimera wing. And then buy 5 herbs. And we only need 5 because we're gonna find one in a room, so we don't need to waste our money on 6. There's a wing. Then we're gonna go back to Tantagel. And we're gonna raid the treasury. So in this version, we get an agility seed, we get an MP nut, we get a magic key back, and we get some gold. Our agility roll is a 3, so we need to watch out for Golem 0. If you ask certain DQ RTA runners, they think that I get the most Golem 0s out of every Western runner. Golem 0 is a glitch. If you outspeed the Golem and it's the second turn in a row that you use the Fairy Flute, it picks a different Golem somehow, and it says Golem 0, and you need to pay attention, because if that happens, you have to flute again and make sure the Golem stays asleep, otherwise he's gonna smackle you again. Alright, and now we're picking up the Sunstone. Alright, so a couple things. I haven't equipped the sword yet because, like I said, it's faster to do it in the equip menu, but this one actually, we're just going to pick an encounter after a certain line here, and we're going to use that life nut that we just picked up. I'm not going to do it on a red slime. We're just going to use the life nut in the... I guess we will do it. Where is it? Use it there, and then we're just going to equip the sword in battle. That way we don't have to spend time in the overworld menu using it, since we were already in a fight. There we go. Oh, you missed. Guess I missed. Alright, going back up to Garenham. We're going to use the inn to replenish our resources. And then we got rid of our clothes, so we need some sort of armor. So luckily we've got enough left over that we can buy some chainmail here. Somebody's blocking the way. Beep, beep. Wow, come on. He must really not want the Dragon Lord to be defeated if he's gonna stay in my way like that. Okay. Garai's Tomb. We're diving here to get a silver harp. There's a few other things we can get along the way here. We're gonna get a bunch of treasure chests up to the north. And before we get to the deeper part of the tomb, we are going to hopefully get level 7 pretty quick. That's a life nut, that's some gold, and that's a magic key. And since we have the steel sword now, we can start swinging at these guys instead of using Gira. We're gonna use that life seed. Right. Warlocks are kind of scary. They can put you to sleep if they want to. I did not know Drakimas had Homimi. The day I learned. So I learned this run last year at RPG Limit Break, and I've been running it since. Not like consistently, but like did some pretty hard PB pushes. Oh, he put us to sleep. Oh, we're going back. That's okay. That's just bad RNG right there. That's okay. We needed something to push us back to estimate. I've never seen a Drakima cast Homimi. I have seen Warlocks cast Sleep. It's usually not that effective, but I was already, you know, I wasn't at max HP, and when they get Gira happy, it adds up real quick. So, not unheard of to death warp in there unintentionally. And we have plenty of keys, and then we're gonna replenish the keys before we even come close to running out. So really, all this really is just a time loss. It's not detrimental to the route at all. All right, take 2. Except now we're gonna do it in the dark. And this is one that I'm not prepared to do in the dark. So I'm sorry, I went silent there. I don't have these maps in my notes. So I'm just really fixated on thinking of what the map looks like and where I'm at in it. So there's gonna be a staircase coming up. There it is. Okay, I have to think of how this is laid out. Okay. Okay. Just in case I run into a wolf, I want to make sure I'll survive it. Okay, that's the staircase I need right there. But we need level 7 to get the sleep spell before we go down. Okay, these guys need Gira. Could be about another fight away or so. There's level 7. Okay, so now we have the sleep spell. Alright, so we want to go. I will fight you. The only thing that we're not going to fight down here are Wraith Knights. You woke up. That was scary. Those guys can put you to sleep too. Okay, on the stairs. Okay. He's asleep. He's asleep. He's asleep. Yeah. We're almost at the silver harp. We want to take 4 fights from these harder enemies here. Got the silver harp. Alright, cool. We got what we came for. We can start using the silver harp to call enemies. Okay, we can just fight you. We actually have pretty good resources too. That was 3 fights, so we want 1 more. Anything on top of that is just gravy at that point. This is the Wraith Knight, we're not fighting him. Yeah, who would have guessed that we could get sleep at level 7? Sleep. Sleep. Alright, anything is just bonus after this. We need to hit level 8 before the golem anyway, so if we can hit level 8 in here, I mean, it's not as fast as fighting outside of Dumdora, but also if we get sent back to a death warp here, like, we already got the experience we wanted, so yeah, it worked out anyway. So literally, that was just a no harm, no foul. Yeah, we only have 121 XP to level 8, so we're fine. That's just like fighting whatever in zone 2 and then maybe 2 enemies in zone 3, so we're fine. I'm gonna try to do my best to hold on to my herbs. I'm gonna use up all of my MP before I even start to use my herbs, because we don't have a way of replenishing them. My MP replenishes if I were to death warp. This is basically one of the biggest RNG spikes in the game. We're basically walking down to Cantlin or Mikado, which at level 8 is dangerous. Like, I mean, everything down there is way out of our league. We're banking on being able to run from everything without dying. I'd say on average it's like about maybe 60-65% chance to make it down there on the first try. The other day when I was practicing, I got sent back to the castle 5 times. Yesterday, or not yesterday, but the day before, I got there on the second try. I think most of my PBs got there on the first try. So right as we cross this bridge, now we're in the next zone, so we're gonna fight anything but goldmen. Because goldmen don't give really any XP, and the other three enemies are all susceptible to sleep. Sleep. So one more fight should be about all we need to make it to level 8. And that's because it's going to bring us to about like 61 HP. Which is barely above what the golem can swing us for. Level 8, alright. And we are going to, yeah. Generally, we're going to want to be at max HP because if we're not, it's bad time. Make it to the... I've got 3 heals left. Yeah. These are the scariest. Okay. The Kage no Kishis can kill us in 2 hits. Everything else usually takes about 3. If you're noticing, I'm doing this like half-tile movement on these mountains. And that's because when the game is forcing me to... that was the wrong spell. Oh. Okay. I have to dip into our herbs. When the game's forcing me around, when I'm hitting up and it's pushing me around, I can't get into an encounter on those tiles. Okay, we pretty much made it. Yep, here's the golem. Okay, so we're going to use the fairy flute. Yeah, see, he hurts. And we're only going to get, like... I might not get a chance to swing twice. Nope, I don't. Normally, I would try to get up to max health and swing twice. Actually, if I'm not, then I don't need to, yeah. Sleep. He woke up. I would try to swing twice and he might wake up and hit me again, but actually I can do that one time because you have max health. Okay. So basically I can swing twice until he hits me again. That's 1. That's 2. Woke up. He's got his stats are at such a way that he's probably gonna outturn me more often than not, so. He's only guaranteed to stay asleep, I think, like 2 turns, 1 turn. Nice crit. I should know Shigeki, so that's gonna help out a lot. And then every time I'm using this flute, I'm making sure I don't see a Golem 0. I'm just seeing Golem on the screen. He woke up. Oh, but he's gone. All right, cool. That was about as perfect as a Golem fight as you can have. That's going to bring us up to level 11. And we're going to set ourselves up for some dragon loops now. Serial of Champions. Alright, so I need to use up the rest of my herbs. I only have one, so... We're going to go to this, this is a vault. We're going to put some items away, so we're going to put away our dragon scale. We're going to put away the fairy flutes. We don't need that anymore. We're going to put away the stones of sunlight. And we're going to put away the silver heart for now. We're going to be able to grab them later. And there's a couple different vaults throughout the game, so we don't have to come back to this one. So here's where we're going to come and refresh our keys. I almost forgot. I need to use the end. Got ahead of myself. Alright, this is a cool thing. You can just step into this room, and right here you can check that dresser. Shoutouts to Error of Rudo for showing me that. We do have to go in all the way to check this one. Alright, so we are going to use the defense seed and another magic nut. Now we're going to max out on holy waters because we were going to try to just get no encounters between our dragon loops. So we're going to buy 5. 5. We're going to use one. And then we're going to buy one. And then we're going to use our wing. Okay. So. Dragon loops. This dragon is stronger than your average dragon. He's got 153 hit points. Our heal line is 41, so anytime my health dips below 41, I'm going to heal. And then the idea is you want to finish the fight at the lowest HP possible. So, because we're going to come back out to the swamp here and do a death warp. So we're going to cast Radiance so that we can see where we're going in the dark. And then when we get into a fight like this, we're going to use this as an opportunity to heal before we run. That way we don't have to just spend more time in the overworld menus casting a heal. Alright, dragon number 1 on average is going to take about 10 hits for us to kill. So, 1, 2, we're still above 41, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm just gonna go for it. Cool, perfect. Yep, that was dragon number 1. That brings us to level 12. And we are gonna save the princess, or so she thinks. Spoiler alert, there's gonna be a lot of dead Princess Laura's in the swamp. The reason we need to quote-unquote save her, tell her we're gonna save her, is that's gonna be, if we don't do this, then the dragon doesn't respawn. But as long as we grab her like this and then death warp out in the swamp, it puts her back in her cell and it respawns the dragon. So now we're going to go straight back and kill the dragon again, grab the princess, die in the swamp, and this will be a this will be the loop for a while. And then you'll also see that I'm trying to basically make this be the least amount of steps between the walk every time for multiple reasons. But I mean, obviously it's going to be the fastest way between 2 points, but then it's also, we're trying to maximize the use of our holy water. We are going to technically murder 8, but we're doing 7 in the loop, and then we do an 8th one later. So that was Dragon 1, so we're on our way to Dragon 2. Ghosts trying to block us. They got nothing on us. We can kill a dragon. We can kill a ghost. Alright, Dragon 2. Still heal line 41, but now it's only going to take about 8 hits. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna go aggressive here. That was scary. I was, yeah. It was like a 50-50 who goes first. And I was banking on me and it was him, but luckily that was the kill shot. I told myself I was gonna be safer during the marathon. Alright, that's a quick death war. We got 2 dead lords in the swamp now. Alright, so this is the 3rd dragon. After the 3rd dragon, we have to start doing some chores between them. You'll see that I'm running low on holy water. We'll probably run out on this walk. So after the 3rd dragon, we refresh our holy water. After the dragon after that, we refresh our keys, and then the dragon after that, we get our stuff back from the vault. So eventually, I hope to get good enough, or I shouldn't say good enough. It's not necessarily a skill thing, it's a math thing. I want to be able to do the math fast enough to be able to count damage instead of swings, because when you're going on the average number of swings, obviously that can change. I don't like magicians, they can cast Gira instead of just doing 1 damage. Yeah, so like, you know, average it'll take 8, but sometimes it takes 7, sometimes it takes 9. Alright, Dragon 3, still 8 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what being safe does. Alright, so that gives us the spell Rura, which is out, or return. So that's going to help speed us up a little bit, because now we don't have to walk out of the castle every time. Oops, wrong spell. We gotta go outside before we can go return. We gotta do a one meme bonk, right? Okay. Oh, yep, now we can just cast Rura to get out of the castle. But like I said, we're out of holy water, so we need to go replenish that. Luckily, we can do in Breckenary here. So we're gonna buy 6. We can use one right now. Replenish it. And then cast return again. Alright, so the next dragon that we kill, we don't really need to worry about what our HP is at the end of it, because we're going to replenish our keys afterwards. We're actually going to bring the princess back to the castle, only for her to die within its walls. We're going to buy keys from the guy in Tantagel, and then there's some barrier tiles inside that kill us really quick. Having really good cave walks. Be nice to get some scorpions or metas, just to make sure I hit 15 by the end of the last dragon. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna do something gutsy here. Actually, that was just stupid, because like I said, I didn't need to have low HP, but whatever. We need a little adventure, right? That was an unnecessary risk. Alright, the princess is so happy to be home after being kept captive by that miserable dragon. But then she says, wait, Bopo, this isn't the way to the throne room. We say, no, we're gonna take the tour of the castle. She's like, oh, that's so romantic. Like, this guy needs to make a living, so let's buy some keys from him. Alright, maxed out. Hey, princess, have you ever seen this room before? Oh no! That's what I'm saying. He's got it nice in that cave. So that was Dragon 4. We're on our way to Dragon 5. Yeah, she looked miserable in the NES version, but they they really stepped it up in this version. They went all out with an interior decorator. This dragon's got some class. For XP, a fight isn't not gonna do it anymore. $14, however. Alright, so still 8 hits, still heal line 41. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 'Oh, that'll kill him. That was a crit. Nothing you can do. You can't predict those. That's rough when they happen towards the end like that. It's nice when they happen at the beginning. Usually if you get a crit, then you count it for 3. And then you can just be like, oh, 1, 2, 3. But yeah, when it's the kill shot, it makes it a little bit more rough to plan on, you know, trying to finish the fight with the least amount of HP as possible. So, probably gonna not have enough holy water for this entire ordeal, which is fine. Just means that we'll get some extra encounters that we'll run away from. So, last chore. We're gonna go pick up those items that we put in the vault. Gonna take out, oh wait, that's deposit. Withdraw items. The dragon scale, the silver heart, and the stones of sunlight. We're gonna, oops, you gotta equip it. Okay, there we go. What a bad speedrunner. I can't believe I died after saving the princess too. Welcome, man. How you doing, Ice? Hope you're having a good Friday. Actually, it's not Gwaylin, it's Laura. Not to be confused with Laura from the game that Grom likes to play of D. Oh. Laura. I think I did see that we have enough XP. So. Oh, we're gonna kill the dragon 2 more times. And that should get us to level 15. And then level 15 we have the repel spell, so that we don't need to be carrying around so many holy waters all the time. So with that last level too, our strength increased enough, we should be able to defeat him in 7 hits now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I didn't like my damage rolls. Okay. I was trying to keep an eye on how many were above and below 25. Alright, now we're gonna cast outside. Yep, that was expected. So the way the encounter rate works in this game is you have like it's the same as in the Dragon Warrior 2 because it's the same ROM or the same game. So 1 and 2 are built into one game. So what it is in this is different tiles raise your threat by different amounts, right? So like if you were to call your threat like an X, right? So like every time you walk on a grass tile, it's like X plus 1. Forest tile might be like X plus 2. Mountains might be X plus 4. Oh wait, I have holy water still. But it's basically just the likelihood that you're going to get into a fight. So you could still technically like keep going for a long time and not get into a fight. It's not like a countdown like Dragon Quest III is in the Super Famicom. That lasted as long as we needed it to. So when you're walking around with the holy water, your threat is still going up. And so basically when the holy water wears off, if you don't use another one or cast the spell repel again right away, your threat is really, really, really high, which means that basically you're almost guaranteed, like on your first step after it wears off, to get into a fight. Alright, this one we don't really care. We just want to survive it, because we're going to continue on with our quest after this guy. I'm not even really going to count. I'm just going to make sure I stay alive. Perfect. And then we do want to kill the dragon one more time later, but so we do need to cosplay rescuing the princess. That all right. So we're gonna cast outside, and now a few things we're gonna grab. Cast repel so that we don't waste time getting into encounters we don't need. We're gonna run up to the shrine here and turn our silver harp into a staff of rain. Oh, you already have it. Okay. Got the Staff of Rain. Alright, now we're gonna cast Return. Here's another RNG spike in the game. We're going to fight the Axe Knight, or in Japanese they're named the Akuma no Kishi, the Devil Knight. We're gonna try to get Roto's armor. Basically what we do is we hold A and pray that he doesn't put us to sleep. Or hold X and pray, I say. With the turbo being allowed, both on the Super Nintendo controller, both X and A can work as a confirm. So it's nice to have A as not turbo, so that when you're menuing and stuff, you don't turbo through something by accident. And then have X be your turbo confirm. That's why I say hold X and pray. Just keep swinging and hope that he doesn't put you to sleep. Max out our HP. Yep. All right, here we go. He tried to put us to sleep. Got him first try. Got the roto armor. All right. Oops, that's wrong. Okay. Roto armor, just like in the NES version, heals us as we walk. A little bit better in this version because it heals us for every half tile that we walk. So it replenishes our health a lot faster than the NES version. Or if you ever play the Game Boy Color version of this game, the Game Boy Color is almost like almost a one-for-one port of the Super Famicom version, and if you wanted to play it in English, so tomorrow morning I'll be running Dragon Warrior 2 for the Game Boy Color, so it's just basically the port of this one. But they have full tiles, so it also, the half tile movement and whatnot, it seems like whole tiles make you get way more encounters. Alright, we're gonna go into this giant swamp here. Oh, it took 3 swings. Bopo needs to pump some iron. Right here? Yep, there's the Roto Seal. We'll need that to get the rainbow drop later. Now what we're gonna do is something called the Strong Grind. And basically what that is I call it the paying tribute to the original NES version. We're just gonna sit in this little area here for about 15-20 minutes and just fight enemies until we get to level 17. If these jerk birds cast Behoimi, which is heal more, I'm gonna put them to sleep, and then I'm gonna put them to sleep permanently. In this zone here, there's so each zone has there's like 5 enemies that can spawn when you trade Mahotan. In this zone, those enemies are Star Chimera, which is the jerk birds, wizards, which are the yellow robe, these guys. There's killer tiger, killer werewolves, and then green dragons. Now I know I only said 4 things. I said there's 5. Jerk birds have 2 of the slots. So basically it's a 40% chance to run into these star chimeras and a 20% chance to run into the other 3. If I end up needing to heal, I'm gonna go and use that half tile movement that I talked about earlier up in the grassy area just to the north. Nice, Kaisha no Jigeki. But yeah, this is what's gonna feel like Dragon Warrior 1, because we're just sitting here for a little bit of time just fighting enemies. Something I like to do whenever I stream this is for the lulls, I like to ask the chat, you know, since we're playing a Dragon Quest game here and you know we got some time to kill, what's your favorite Final Fantasy game? And then the funny part is whenever I'm playing a Final Fantasy game and I'm grinding, during a grind section, that's when I like to ask, what's your favorite Dragon Quest game? But the orders of what we would like to see, which I'm surprised we haven't seen any yet, to be honest. We'd love to see green dragons. They're going to give us the most bang for our buck. They're about 135 XP per kill. They're not, like I said, they're not like the green dragons that we were killing in the swamp cave. They only have like 60, 70-ish HP. Dragon Quest X2, the search for Squall. I love it. Okay, there's a green dragon and he did some damage. So we're gonna come up here. By doing this movement, I can only get into an encounter on like half of those tiles, but I'm gaining health on each one of them. So. Excuse me. So yeah, green dragons are the most with 135. The wizards are next with 120. Jerk birds are third with 105, and then the killer tigers are the least with 95. But we also just don't like the jerk birds because of their tendency to cast Behuimi or heal more. Thank you. Had to remember to keep more liquids on hand. Especially if I'm going to be doing a 7-hour run later. I gotta make sure I got enough water. We love it when the Star Chimeras just breathe breath, because their breath attack does a lot less damage than their bite does. We want them to breathe fire and not be chompy boys. Same thing with the blue dragons later. Once we hit level 16, we'll be about 40 fights away from 17. And then after we hit 17, we'll just take like a few more here, and then we'll go do what's needed to finish up the game. Level 16. We got 6 sleeps left if they decide to be jerks. The final level that will actually fight the Dragon Lord at is level 18, but we'll get that on the way down. Nice, Kaishin no Chigeki. I always like to feel like, since Bopo had to take Princess Laura out with him to just show her how strong he is, that's why she's with us on this grind. We love it when the wizards cast Mahotan like that. because it's not going to do any damage. Mahotan is Stop Spell or Fizzle. And actually in this game, the Roto armor doesn't guarantee you immunity from that or sleep. So, like when we go into the Sharlock later and we run into another Axe Knight or Kumano Kishi, like we're still gonna run from them because they can still put us to sleep. Or the Dragon Lord 1 can still put us to sleep with the Roto armor. Nice, Kaisha no Jigeki. Jerk. Of course, it's not a true JRPG unless there's some sort of jerk bird. It's not a true video game if there's not some sort of jerk bird. You know, in Castlevania it's bats, and Final Fantasy 1 it's like the cockatrices, or the ones that put you to stone. This game is the stock Chimera. Got a few more minutes of fighting left, and then things will get interesting again. Nice, Kaisha no Jigeki. They are really heal more happy today. It gets a little rough in Sharlock when you're diving because you want to save all of your MPs so you have the greatest chance against the Dragon Lord as possible. And then if a Star Chimera finds you on like the first or second floor and just spams Behoimi, you're just like, should I just run from this fight or? Still not as bad as they gave the Armored Knights heal more as well. So they have hurt more, heal more, and they can swing at you. Also, interesting thing, since I started learning like really basic Japanese, like learning how to read and speak Japanese, interesting, of course you cast heal more. The way they were translated the knights. So the blue knight in the NES version is called a knight, and in the Super Famicom version here, it's called a Yoroi no Kishi, which means armored knight. The armored knight in the NES was the red one with the shield and the axe. Whereas in this version, though, the red ones are called Shinigami no Kishis, or Death Lord Knights. Interesting that they chose to translate that one as Armor Knight when the original blue one was literally Armor Knight. Cast Beggy-Rama. Cast Beggy-Rama again. Beggy-Rama would be Hurtmore or Firebane. Replenish. Clean Healing Walk. Once we do leave this area, we're gonna have to go through the swamp cave one more time, and that's why we grabbed the princess, because since we're going through there anyway, we're gonna kill the dragon one more time. Because that's just it's just a really quick way to get a quarter of the way to level 18. Ambush the green dragon. So, gotta be getting close to 17 here. Oh yeah, we're about 2 fights away. Useless crit. We still gotta praise the crit though. We don't want to we don't want him to stop critting. Alright, so this should be 17. I'm gonna come we're gonna take about 4 more fights. Missed. This is like a runner's choice situation. Some people like to leave here before even hitting 17, like approaching and get 17 on the swamp cave dragon. I just like the little bit of safety, not having to be desperate to get a red dragon in Xytoriak. Yep. Oh, put us to sleep. Woke up. Tried it again. Okay, so now we're just gonna... Oops. We'd rather die on the swamp than in a fight because the death anime or the death jingle is a lot faster. Notice it'll if we see it, it'll send us back in the middle of the jingle. But oh no, we're gonna die here. Here's this one. It makes you listen to the whole thing before it brings you back. That's okay. $34.19. Okay, so now we're gonna head back to Rimeldar area. Now we're gonna go do the end game. So all we really need left to do is get the rainbow drop, go to Xytoriak, and defeat the Dragon Lord. The only things that we're going to do like in between there is we're going to gain one more level. We're going to hit level 18 because that'll give us about 15 more max HP. And we're going to get the Roto Sword in Xytoriak while we're in there. We're also going to stop by Rimeldar, use the Andis to replenish our resources, and get some herbs again, because the herbs can really can help out if we get low on MP for whatever reason during the Dragon Lord fights. This one's just hold X. Now that we've got the Roto armor, he can't hurt us. Gonna cast outside. That's fast. That's actually faster than just leaving. And then we're gonna go all the way through. I'm not saving the princess this time. Some people might find that cruel, but as was pointed out earlier, she's got a very nice bedroom in there. Why would I want to take her away from that? Okay. So there's a shrine at the south end of this continent that we're gonna go to, and that's where we're gonna turn in our Staff of Rain and the Stone of Sunlight for the rainbow drop. I'll give a little warning right now. So like the same kind of flashing you see when the spells were being cast, it lasts for a little bit longer, so there's like a flashing light warning. I mean, it doesn't really bother me, but I notice it, so that's why I just want to give a heads up. And we're past it. Got the rainbow drop. We have 2 keys left, which is perfect because we only need 1 in Xytoriak. But if for whatever reason he sends us packing, we have 1 more. Alright, and I'm going to cast Repel 1 more time just outside here because it doesn't work in the town. So we just want to refresh it, get the most use out of it as we can. Healed up. We can drop that chainmail. We'll buy a torch because we're gonna need it to get through there. And then 6 herbs, so we're going down to 6044. Alright, we are all geared up, so other than getting Roto Sword inside of Xytoriak, we are ready to fight the Dragon Lord and being level 18. Oh yeah, not casting it again. We don't want to waste any MP. We are going to create a rainbow bridge. What do we got? Magic Drakey, we'll take you. So after after the last 20 minutes of grinding on anything that popped up because we knew what the enemies were, it's kind of like you got to keep it in your brain to say, I'm not just gonna swing at whatever I run into, especially as we enter the castle here. If we see an Akuma no Kishi, we're gonna run away. There's still, I mean, if they land sleep and we don't wake up for 2 turns, we're in bad shape at that point. Now, Charlotte's interesting compared to the NES version, because obviously you can see this first room is the same. Then the second room is different, the third room is different, and then the rest of them are the same. Akuma no Kishi. Put us to sleep. See, yep, that hurt. Alright, we'll use our torch. There's where we need our key. Now, as we dive, we're gonna fight most things. Some things that we aren't gonna fight are, like I said, the Axe Knights. We're not gonna fight Stone Men until I get the Roto Sword. I just feel like their HP pool is too high to try to fight them without it. Blue Dragons we'll take. We love Blue Dragons, and we hope that they breathe fire instead of being chompy boys. Wizards will always take. As we get to the bottom, Red Dragons are actually fantastic in this version, because they're on a set pattern. Chomped us. Breathed fire. Chomped us again. I'm going to use an herb. There's on the next floor, there's a treasure chest I can run out of the way a little ways to get another herb to replace that one. It was just way too dangerous to try to heal lock that if I got into another fight right away. Ambushed us and Baggy Rammed us. So, talking about the threat earlier, about how encounters work with getting into an encounter and how they work. Every time you touch a staircase, it resets your threat. So, as I go further down, if I get to a point where I feel like I might be in a little bit of danger and I want to heal up, like right now, probably. Definitely now. I'm gonna take some steps out here. Hit the stairs, that resets my threat. Like, and notice I'm saying threat, it doesn't, yep, because we can still... Okay, well, that'll happen. Just got bad RNG again. Like I said, I still have a key, so... If we get sent back again, we're gonna stop by Rimbledar every time. So It's unfortunate that it happened before the sword, but there's an argument there that I could have, or if I wanted to stay down there, I should have heal moored. We can't kill the dragon again because I didn't grab Laura. That's okay. This is just going to push us closer to the actual estimate I had. And that's why I gave that estimate, because I knew RNG could do this. If I was already 18 and had the sword, I would have just saved at Tantagel there, and then if we died again, I would have just reset. I need to go this way. But since I still need 1,000 XP and I still need to get the sword, we don't have that luxury. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bank that we can probably win off of this dive. And if we don't, then I'll just buy keys here. I forgot to do so. Right. It's gonna take it off. Okay. 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 We replenish our resources. Might as well buy an herb, buy another torch. Okay, I want to make sure I have it. Okay, for real this time. We are gonna go kill the Dragon Lord. Also that blue dragon, like seeing where my HP was, there was also, I could have also taken the opportunity to try to run if I wanted to. So I mean, there was options, and I chose the aggressive option that said maybe he'll just be nice and breathe fire, or maybe I crit him or something, but wasn't the case. Bopo, my guy, you gotta quit missing. Once we hit level 18, there's like no benefit to going to 19, so once we hit 18, we're literally just gonna be running from every encounter. We're still gonna go down and get the sword because we need that damage against the Dragon Lord, but he tried to sleep us. He did sleep us. I'll chance it. Why not? My whole time, great. Victory comes to those brave enough to lunge for it, apparently. Oh, man. Death warp on the first floor again. Like, oh, looks like we're getting more keys, guys. So, our torch. Use our last key. Getting really close to level 18. Killer tiger got ambushed. Or killer lycanth. Killer wolf. Killer werewolf. No Kuma no Kishi. Go to sleep. Too early in the dive. I don't want to use your resources. I don't need to. So, like I said, I'm just gonna keep resetting my thread on the stairs. Alright, we're fine. Don't miss, Bopo. That's a problem. The stairs are right here. We play things a little bit safe. Needs to check his depth perception. Okay. What do we got? Blue dragon will fight. 4. Okay. There's level 18. Alright, so now we're just running from everything. Okay. This is where the map goes back to NES Sherlock. So, oh, keep that Axe Knight's chasing us. Taking a little detour here. This is where we're taking a detour to get the Roto sword. Got it. Okay. Still running from everything because we're level 18. They ambush us. Oh, this is hilarious. Alright, this encounter rate is a little bit high, but we should be okay. All right, this is the bottom floor. So there's a Shinigami no Kishi. They are the fun police in this version. They're the ones that can hit you hard. They can cast hurt more. They can cast heal more. So there's like no way to really deal with them except really run away. You can try to fight them, but with heal more. All right, we're on the last floor. There's our arch nemesis. There's 2 phases, just like in the NES. I'm going to count to 7. If he casts heal more, I'm going to subtract 2.5. But 7 hits is what it should take to take him down from phase 1 to phase 2. And then phase 2, I'm going to be counting basically turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. On turns 1 and 4, I want my heal line to be 101. On turns 2 and 3, it needs to be 64. If he ambushes us, that's basically 2 turn 1s in a row. He's going to ask us if we want to take half of Alfgard, and I'm going to say what my buddy Some Diener has said in the past, like, no, we don't want half of it, we want all of it. Alright. Dragon Lord 1. 1. 2. We're asleep. Our heal line is 40. 3. 4. 5. Sleep again. 2.5. 3.5. Sleep again. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, got him. All right, we used a lot of MP, so we're not out of the woods yet. All right, we didn't get ambushed. I'm gonna 101. I'm gonna use an herb. All right, 64. I'll go 64. 101. 101. 64. 64. 101. 101. 64. 64. 101. 101. 64. 64. 101. 101. 64. 101. 101. Crit, got him. All right. So we got to bring the ball of light back to the king, and timing doesn't end until we see the end at the end of the credits. That was close. We were almost out of MP. Or clutch herb uses. Ooh. So we got about 2 minutes here before we'll see the end. At the end of the credits, we'll get to hear the traditional DQ1 fanfare. So yeah, right around estimate, especially for 2 really bad, got sent back during the Garai tomb death, or Garai tomb dive, and we got sent back on the Sharlock dive. But had a good golem walk, had a good, good dragon loops. Can't complain with the first try Axe Knight. Yeah, that the Dragon Lord can get scary like that, especially when he keeps putting you to sleep for multiple turns like that. And then, yeah, Dragon Lord 2 is pretty predictable as long as you stick to those heal lines and you have the resources. It would have been interesting to see what happened if I didn't crit at the end there. It would have been really close. We're just about there. And yeah, so up next we have Dragon Warrior 2 rando race between Ryguy and Vrylis. And then after that, I'll be back with a Dragon Warrior 4 for the NES. So we are going to be done with this run. That's DQ1 Dragon Loops. Yeah, stay tuned. We got a whole just over 24 hours of Dragon Quest speedruns for this event, which is amazing. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with some Dragon Warrior 2 rando. Thanks, everyone.